Making YouTube videos is hard. Hi, it's Peter here, and let's get right into the business. I've been asked to make a video about how I make my videos, and I've divided this video into 3 parts. The first part is about the creative process, how I make my scripts, what help do I have for that, what software or stuff like that, what do I use. Then the second part is about the studio. Let's make a little studio tour so that you know how I make them inside the studio. And then the third part is about the gear, what gear I use to make these videos. And let's start with the scripting part and the ideas. I've been using Notion since last summer, organizing everything, making the scripts, keeping track of what should be done, what I need to do, and in what phases my videos are in. Because I might work on 3 or 4 videos at the same time. One is, in filming, one is in scripting, and one might be, or 2 might be in editing phase. And then I might have some videos that are uploaded, but not set when to publish them and all kinds of that stuff. And, it requires quite a lot of juggling around to keep track that everything is done correctly. And I bought a template for Notion that was made for content creators. But Notion had or has quite a big learning curve in my opinion, or then it might be only me. But that's where Skillshare, the sponsor of this video, helped me a lot. I watched this class about Notion so that I can learn how to customize the template for my needs, because of course it needed some customizing, and watching those classes or that class in Skillshare helped me a lot. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives and for other people too, of course, with thousands of classes led by industry experts in Notion, travel photography, street photographs, editing, what not. It has tons and tons of different classes. And Skillshare can help you to take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or side hustles to the next level. Skillshare is not just about individual classes. The best part is that it has curated learning paths, which has classes from different creators or teachers. And that is a really, really great way of learning. Because when you have curated classes, you know that it is the cream of the cream, the best possible classes for that particular topic. And the first 500 people to click the link down below will get free month of Skillshare. So join now and use the link. But let's continue with the topic of this video. And what's good about Notion is that it has a mobile app and also a desktop app, and then I can use it from the browser. And the mobile app is very good because I have set up it so that there is a button for ideas right at the top of the app. When I open the app and go to my YouTube tab in that, I can write down the ideas on the go. My way of making the script is that I write everything down, because English is not my first language. I'm not a native speaker, which you probably can hear from my accent. So writing down everything is a lot better for me. Then I read it a couple of times and I kind of know what it is. And the biggest shift in my thinking of making the videos and the creative process is that I used to go out and make videos and then photographed kind of like side, test shots and stuff like that. But now what I do is I go out and photograph and then do some B-roll at the same time. I will talk about that, how I do that, when I talk about the gear I use. Then when I come back, I usually go back to the images, the B-roll, and the script, and adapt the script to match what I've thought when I was photographing. Of course, I have the idea of what I need my photographs, but it's not something that I've driven to photograph because I have a certain script, and that is the biggest kind of switch that I've made. And it has improved my photography quite a bit since I do not make any test shots. I have kind of a master plan when I photograph, which is not related to the videos, because I've started to making books and zines, which I haven't published yet, but just wait for it. And I also use AI. After I've done the script and adapted to my content that I have, I ask Perplexity AI what it thinks about my script. And what's good about Perplexity AI is that it will give me some links to the topic that I've asked it about. And it not only gives me links to different blog posts, but also I can get very good information about the questions that has been asked about the topic, which helps me to adapt the script so that I can answer some of the questions that have been going around in internet, so that I can give you some more value about the stuff that I'm talking about in particular video. And that has also been something very valuable, because I always try to make some kind of a tutorial inside my video. It doesn't matter what the topic is, I always try to add some, teaching element into the videos, because those usually do better in my channel than just feel-good videos where I just walk around and photograph. That's not what most of my viewers are after. They are after some knowledge so that they can be better photographers. And speaking of being a better photographer, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button down below. Other AI that I use is vidIQ and Morning Fame. And especially Morning Fame has been very valuable because I have set up my niche in their similar channels that mine. They're mostly street photography channels, and it will give me some information. And if there are videos that get more views than usually on those channels, it is probably a topic that is something that you are interested in, and I might make a video about that topic. And after I've done everything, I have my script, I have my images, my B-roll, I make the voiceover like now, like this. I like to do it in the studio to talk to my camera here. I will talk about that later in the video, what gear I use. The reason is that I've tried to speak while I photograph, but it doesn't work. In street photography, I want to be concentrated on what's going on in the streets, and if I talk to a camera there, then I can't photograph at the same time in a way that I like to. And of course, if I have people in the photograph, I will be noticed and I won't be invisible if I, talk while I shoot. So it's better for me to do it this way. And also the content is a lot better because I've tried it or tried to speak while I photograph, and you don't want to listen to that jibber jabber that I do. You might want to listen this. I'm not sure if you do. And speaking of voiceovers, there is one video in my channel where I used my cloned voice for the voiceover. 90% of that video is a cloned voice that I made with 11 labs. And no one has commented about the voiceover. So you didn't even realize that it was AI voice. But I'm not going to use that. That was just a test to see if that works. But to be honest, I didn't really like it because there are a couple of problems with that. One problem, of course, is that if I write it down, it's different what I speak. And since I'm not a native speaker, you can kind of hear the choices of the words that I used and stuff like that. So I think I keep it authentic, and I want to connect with you with an authentic voice and authentic face. So no worries. I'm not going to use that anymore. It was just one test to see if that's something that I might use sometimes, but no, I won't. And then a quick studio tour. This is a very small bedroom, and I have designed it so that, and put everything in place so that it's easy as possible to make these videos. Because if I have to build everything every time I start making a video, it would be so hard to do. Now I just sit down on this chair and turn on the camera and the lights, which I can control from Philips Hue app. It's so easy. I don't have, I can control the camera with this, so I can just press the record from here, and I'm good to go and good to start speaking to you. And the backdrop is a cabinet where I store my gear, and then the bigger cabinet here is something where I have some old cameras, just, because they're beautiful equipment, beautiful pieces of equipment. And I, like to have them there. And then there is some more gear in here. And then there is a bigger cabinet where I have some bigger stuff, lights and stands and tripods and stuff like that. And then if if you have followed me, you know that I love books, so I have a bookshelf with photography books. I just love to read about photographers and see their work printed, because I think that's the best way to present photographs is printed. It's the best experience. That's what I think. And then the gear. In the studio, I use Fujifilm XS20, and then I have TD Artisan 27mm f2.8 lens on it. And as a microphone, I have Rode VideoMic NTG, which is right here, quite close to my mouth. I used to have it up here, but I think this gives a better sound because the soundboarding that I have here is not that efficient. And then I have a lot of screens in front of me that bounces the sound, so this has worked better. Then I have one light up here, which is a Durr Flexi light. It's a very thin and light, so that it fits right into the place. So it's not, because it's a very tight spot where I have my desk, so that type of light fits best. And then in the back I do have a Sirui A100B. I can also use if I photograph some gear on the desk, which also acts as a standing desk for me when I write the scripts. I don't have to sit all day, I can stand, and it works well for that. And it also works as a desk for packing up stuff if I go outside and photograph. And speaking of going outside, in the field I use Insta360 cameras. I have two of them. One is the X2, a 360 camera, which I mount here, and this has been something that has helped me a lot making the content that I'm making now, because I just turn it on and I can forget about it. It will record everything, and then I can just concentrate on the photography. If I do some voiceovers or some vlogging style outdoors, then I use the Insta360 Ace Pro, and DJI Mic 2 is the choice of microphones then. And this has worked really well for me because, as I said, with the camera attached like this, I can just concentrate on the photography. And this also has a pretty good microphone that I can use if I, start talking while I photograph. It will pick up the noise, not the noise, but the voice quite well, because it's quite close to, and it stays consistent because it's very close to my mouth. And then for editing, I use Adobe software. Premiere Pro is my choice of video editing. I know it has some flaws, like, I wonder what, oh, that was my phone, sorry about that. Where was I? Yes, it has some flaws and it crashes, not that often, but sometimes. The reason I'm using that is that it works so well with other Adobe software, which I use: Photoshop, Lightroom, Audition, and After Effects. It's just flawless. That part works so well. If I was starting now, I would probably choose DaVinci Resolve because it's a stunning software, but the learning curve here again is something that I might not want to do right now, because making content every day for clients and for YouTube is, I need some time to learn a new software. That's why I still use Premiere. And I do have Apple computers. My main computer is a Mac Studio with a M2 Ultra processor, which is quite good and quite fast. And so far, it's been very good. And then I have a couple of laptops to go on the field, and I can use those if I need to edit something on the go, which is usually on my travels. I might do that, but not very often. And if you have any questions about my video making process or my gear or anything, then just leave a comment down below and I will answer your questions and hope we'll give you some good answers. And here is my latest video for you to watch. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.